This video was made, created by me ZS0020 Prime, leader of the Defenders and master of the Skybase. I am also known as ZS Prime, ZS0020 Prime, and Sylveon Prime, and nobody has any permission to use this video without my permission or authorization. This music was made, created by me ZS0020 Prime, leader of the Defenders and master of the Skybase. I am also known as ZS Prime, ZS0020 Prime, and Sylveon Prime. And nobody has any permission to use this music without my permission or authorization.
Good morning. It's 1 o'clock. This is going to be an update video in regards to basically my journey after my surgery. Today marks officially like the second week. On Tuesday, I went to my post-op appointment and they said I'm ready for stage 3 where I can eat like blended stuff and basically stuff that's easy to chew like yogurt and stuff like that. Basically I can move on to stage 3, which is why I also got let me get off my butt. Let me switch this. I got this thing right here because I do have an actual blender. Well, if I can move all this crap out of the way. Ouch. Bang my hand right into the stupid hood. I actually have a blender, like a big blender up there. But since, as you can see, this thing is big and bulky, let me close that. And it's a pain in the butt to kind of reach up there all the time. I decided to get this thing, the magic bullet. It basically comes with the unit itself. It's the one that plugs in. It comes with the unit itself. It comes with 2 of these, this little cup and this little like mug thing. Basically anything magic bullet will like fit into it. And it comes with this little like sippy cup thing. And basically the way it works is you just simply, it's pretty much idiot proof. You simply plug it in and do that. And if you want it to stay on longer, you twist it. You put it down, you twist it. But I don't want to do that because I don't need it to stay on long. Well, pretty much you would do that, and you would do that to lock it in, and that would lock it in. Right now it's unplugged because I don't want it spinning without anything in it because I don't want to burn the motor. Pretty much that's what... what did I drop now? Of course I dropped this. Well, at least I can more or less bend down now. But that's what I got, was the magic bullet. And pretty much that's basically where my stage is. I got that magic bullet for my self, so that way I can blend stuff. Like small stuff, the other stuff is going to be pre-blended. So basically right now I'm on the blend diet, basically according to the paper. Oh, and I printed out a copy of it. Here it is. Oh god dang it, I need to... Okay, good. I was about to say, I need to freaking... Okay, yeah, pretty much I'm going to be following what this paper is. That's the paper that my mom had. She sent me the copy. That's what they gave me. Pretty much instructed me on what I can eat and what I can't eat, since my stomach is going to be sensitive for a while. So pretty much that's where it is. I'm officially, as of today, on stage 3. So I can eat blended stuff, anything blended, but I still have to be mindful because this healing process is going to take a while. It's probably going to be like probably a month before I'm back to normal. Well, I'm never going to be able to eat what I used to eat because my stomach is permanently shrinked down. It's basically the size of a banana. But I'm slowly starting to return back to myself because Oh boy, it's been trialing couple of it's been a trialing couple of weeks, because on top of it all, as I was recovering, I ended up getting sick with a cold, so that didn't help anything. Ow, my eye. Sheesh. So that didn't help any matters. So pretty much, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm on stage 3, so blended food, and I am doing better with my cold. It's more or less pretty much gone at this point. I had to take some of the liquid stuff because I had to be very careful of what I took. In fact, I had to ask the doctor if it was okay to take that, and he said fine. It was a whole ordeal because when I first got, there's a big of a story here, and you know what? I'm going to tell it. There's basically when I got back home from the hospital, let's just say all I could do was pretty much pass out because, oh boy. Let's just say I was completely and totally out of it. And I was totally out of it. And on top of that, literally like a couple days later, I started feeling sick. At first, I thought it was just from the surgery, but nope, it was a full-on cold. The runny nose, chest congestion, the works. I didn't get a sore throat, but I was definitely getting a fever because I felt like not myself. And so I tried getting a hold of somebody. First, I called the 24-hour line that they gave me to call. And the idiot who answered the phone there put me on a never-ending hold, which pissed me off, so I hanged up and I actually called the Bariatric office to see what they can advise. And they were like, oh, the nurse will call you back. Waited the whole day. Nobody ever called me back. And then the next day, my mom basically got fed up with their tactics, and let's just say she gave them a good kick in the pants. And literally right after, all of a sudden, the nurse calls me back. Right after my mom straight up tells them that if they don't call me back, they're about to get a straight up complaint. So then the nurse finally calls me back, and I was able to ask them because when I first before my mom called these people and gave them a piece of their mind, I tried calling the 24 number again, finally got to somebody, and the doctor on the other line was rude as fuck. He's like, you can take whatever you want. It's like, what kind of a motherfucking advice is that to a patient who's recovering from gastric, pretty much it's a gastric bypass, but it's with a sleeve thing, but who's recovering from surgery on his stomach? What kind of a fucking answer is that? Even my mom said that was not an appropriate answer to give a patient. What the heck was this doctor thinking? This doctor could have straight up unalived me with his laziness. I mean, you can tell, but you could tell by his voice that he was just not having it. And I'm like, excuse me for calling, but if it's a 24-hour number. You're supposed to call it if it's an urgent matter, and it was an urgent matter. I was sick, and I didn't know what the heck I could take without causing damage to my stomach. So, anyway, long story short, after that call, I was able to finally get a hold of like some Dayquil stuff. It's pretty much the same thing as Dayquil, just a different branding. I was able to get that into my body and deal with the cold. Although I couldn't take too much of that stuff because since I can't eat anything solid, it was kind of irritating my stomach because there's no food in my stomach. All I could do is drink liquids. And also, it didn't help the fact that stuff was very syrupy and thick. So, yeah, it was a combination of crap upon crap, basically. But after my mom gave them a good kick in the keister that they rightfully deserved, the nurse finally called me back, and actually, I believe my mom was on the same line. She did like a conference call thing. And they were able to finally advise me on what I can do. And then my mom called the 24-hour thing. And I think we got a hold of the same guy, and she basically led into him for that whole "you can take whatever you want" nonsense. Because, what kind of a freaking answer is that to a patient who's recovering from stomach surgery? I mean, I don't know if any of you doctors out there or professional or any of you professional doctors out there would say something like that to a patient. Take whatever you want. Yeah, that guy was just an idiot of the highest degree. I mean, it's like, if you don't want to be there at your fucking job, that ain't my fucking fault. I'm calling you because I legitimately need answers, not because I fucking feel like it, but whatever. Long story short, after all of that, I was able to finally get onto the road of recovering from my cold, and now I'm pretty much there. I'm still spitting up little bits of phlegm here and there, but I'm pretty much over my cold and finally getting the last tiny little bit of it out of my freaking system, because that was miserable. I'm still kind of more or less healing from my stomach because the outer wounds may be closing up, but there's staples inside, and the staples are going to be one of those that like self dissolve once the wound like heals. They'll disintegrate on their own. But while the wound is healing, it's a process and also there is light at the end of the tunnel. I did lose weight. I was about like 350 or something like that. And then when they measured me, they said I was like 290 something. So I lost quite a significant weight. It's probably going to keep on going down since my diet is completely changing of what I can eat. And also my stomach is smaller. So that will help me with the portion size. And also there's like a sleeve around it too to kind of control. It's like an internal sleeve, because the official name of the surgery is gastronic sleeve surgery. It's basically where they shrink my stomach down and they put a sleeve over it. But at least the good news is I'm starting to more or less kind of starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, if you know what I mean. I'm starting to finally see the conclusion to this. Maybe probably in like a month or something, it'll be fully healed, so it won't be as sensitive, because the doctor did say when I went to on Tuesday that it's normal to feel pain around like the lower area, like this area of my stomach, because there is like a wound there. It is bruised and it's all healing. But he did say I'm doing good and everything is good, and I am able to go to the bathroom on both number 1 and number 2 on my own, so that's good. That I can go naturally without having to rely on medication. That's good. And then they said I'm gonna have to take the multivitamins. It's gonna be those like little chewable gummies that I can do, but at least I'm starting to kind of get to normalcy. We'll see. I'm going to be taking this. This process is going to be one of those one step at a time processes. Right now I'm at stage 3. So we'll see what happens afterwards. And I am going to also have to see. They did give me like a slip to do a blood test, because all the medications that I was taking, those probably going to have to be adjusted since my weight went down and my body is basically pretty much changing because of the whole surgery and everything else. So we'll see what the blood test that says. It's just currently I wasn't able to swallow any capsules, so I wasn't able to take my meds until recently, until I finally started healing enough. Because my throat was kind of screwed up also, because doing the surgery they stuck a tube in there so that way I could breathe. So yeah, it's gonna be a process and a half to recover, but at least I'm starting to lose weight. And that was the whole point of the surgery, was to lose weight, because I've tried, basically it was a last resort situation, because I tried everything else to lose weight. I tried because that Trulicity stuff that I'm taking, it was mostly for weight loss. It's not really insulin. But at least things are looking good, and at least I'm starting to finally see some sort of, at least I'm starting to see results, so it was worth it. And I also have my cat, Luna. He's been helping me when things get tough. because the ultimate toughness about it is the mental, let's just say the mental toll, because the first 3 days were murder. Especially when I had to spend the night in the hospital. It was, let's just say in the hospital, I was barely, I was like somewhere between consciousness and unconsciousness, and also half the time I was hyped up on like pain medication because they had to inject me with some stuff just so that way I wouldn't be in constant pain. But then when I got home and all the, medication wore off, they did say the first 3 days were going to be the toughest, and boy, they were not kidding. The first 3 days were the toughest. I mean, it's a good thing I have a bunch of streaming services, because what I did the first day when I came back home is I basically pretty much plopped down on the couch and was passed out that whole day. And then when I woke up, I don't know if I was sometime in the middle of the night or the next day. I think it was the next day because my mom was visiting me. When I woke up, I did actually took a shower. They said I should have taken a shower when I first got, but when I first got home, I was in no condition to do nothing. My body just completely and totally shut off because I was pretty much out of it. But then the next day I was able to take a shower very carefully. I had to very carefully put the soap on and very carefully dry myself off to make sure I don't, because they had incisions on me, but they were covered with it was like super glue stuff to make sure it didn't open up, so I had to be careful. Now those wounds are starting to kind of heal, and the glue stuff came off on its own after like 10 days. So pretty much, and also I'm able to finally now bend down normally. Walking is still a bit of a I feel, for some reason I feel like my equilibrium is off. But that's probably going to be for a while because things in my body is changing. But I do have this. What do you call this? I do have this this thing here, this walker that I use. I basically walk around, do laps. Gotta turn the camera back around. Basically, what I do is I use the walker to walk around and do laps, and occasionally I get up and walk to make sure that the important part was to make sure that I didn't get any blood clots in the legs. And here's my little helper, Mr. Luna. Purr, 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 purr. Kitty, kitty, purr, purr, purr. Kitty, kitty. But pretty much that's how it's been. And right now I'm on stage 3, so recovery process is going good. And I'll update as I can. At least for the most part, I'm starting to get my strength back, which is good. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to conclude this video for now. I'll see you all in my next video, whenever it is and whatever it is. Have a good day and night, everybody. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.